Hello ladies and gentlemen, and that's the wrong intro. I'm still in the middle of Thunder Week. Anyways, hello you sexy beasts and welcome back to War Thunder. It's been a while, hasn't it? Sorry about that, I've been really busy with the whole, exams and Thunder League stream and all of that kind of stuff, but finally I have some days off now to finally do some videos. Now, as you can see on screen, we are playing the Panzerwerfer 42. That's German for Panzerwerfer 42. Yeah, German names, okay? Just don't question, just do it! Nein! Anyways, this is a premium rocket tank. It's a self-propelled rocket artillery tank with 10 150mm rockets. At the moment, well, except for the RBT-5 of course, these are actually the biggest rockets in War Thunder. But then there's the RBT-5, which only gets two rockets and is a tank by itself, so kind of defeats the whole point of this thing. But yeah. Now, this being a premium, of course, means that you rarely encounter them in the wild, because they are quite expensive and not all that useful. You'd be surprised. This thing has almost no armament, only 3 crew. Pretty much anything that shoots at you kills you in one single shot. And well, the rockets you have are good. They are HE rockets. They are kind of like KV-2 shells. They aren't quite like KV-2 shells. At least KV-2 shells, they travel faster. You can aim them better. These guys, you have to kind of just aim on your guts. You don't really get an aiming circle. You have to kind of judge the drop of these rockets by yourself, and they do drop quite substantially. Now, of course, the advantage is that you have more rockets. 10 shots is quite a lot to take out a single tank. On the other hand, though, you can't reload them, which means if you disband those 10 rockets, you are out. The only thing you have left is the machine gun. You're not going to take out any tank with those machine guns. Ooh. Now it's kind of lucky that M4A3 did not see me. As you can see, the call it turret can traverse 360 degrees, but it's very slow. The turret traverse is very slow. However, it does have a very nice sound when you fire those rockets. That's one thing, even in the real war. This tank here was based on the Panzerwerfer launching system, which was a artillery piece with usually about 6 tubes for launching rockets, which made an astonishing sound. The sound that you can hear in War Thunder is pretty much the same sound that you will hear in real life when one of these things would fire off. And as you can guess, that would make for quite some psychological toll. They wouldn't be too effective. The thing is, they aren't really accurate. Even in the game, you can't really aim them all that accurately, but the sound alone is definitely sure to make your enemy think twice about peeking that corner. Now we are playing on RB, so whilst I was playing this I couldn't actually see all those names of the enemy tanks. Just as I started shooting, they are finding. Actually, I have no idea how I took that guy out. It was a Matilda. How did I kill a Matilda? I don't know. See, it's interesting to me. It's all about where you hit those rockets. As you saw, the Matilda I could take out in one single shot. The Crumble, on the other hand, I spent like 3 or 4 shots and did not kill him. Now sadly I did not manage to preserve my ammo as I should and am now out of rocket tubes. The only way for you to reload is to be in a capture point, but since on this game mode there's only one single capture point, I can't really do anything. And as I try to retreat, I get taken out by the Churchill behind me. Now I want to take the opportunity of this video and hopefully teach you guys how to play these tanks. They kind of have a bad fame for being really bad, and let's be honest, they are not very versatile. They aren't your typical tank that you can just perform well in every single time. That's not how this tank operates. You have to use them more as a support vehicle. This is probably the definition of a support vehicle in War Thunder. As long as your team has a Panzerwerfer 42 behind them, suppressing the enemy, that's a massive advantage for your team to win. Alright, a couple minutes later, finally got the spawn points to spawn in yet again. Fun fact, this thing is actually counted as a tank destroyer, which means you have less spawn point requirement in RB battles, which means you can hopefully spawn in more than once, as long as you of course have the respawn unlocks. Not unlocks, what are they called? Respawn tokens? I can't remember the name card now. It's something that you have to buy with the golden eagles. I think it's about 10 golden eagles per respawn. And in case of this tank, it actually helps out quite a lot, because you do tend to get taken out very, very quickly. The thing about this tank is, it's armored, yes, and it can withstand light machine gun fire from up to 7.9mm machine guns, but even 50 cals can shred this thing very, very, very quickly. Now, of course, it can go both ways, since you have almost no armor. Enemy APHE shells don't tend to explode, they tend to go straight through, and you can actually use this to your advantage. Now, since the rockets are mounted so far in the back and there's only one guy manning the turret, you can actually use this tank pretty effectively if you reverse around the corner. As you can see right there, there's an AC Mark II AA, which can shred me very, very quickly on the other side of the building. So what I try to do here is reverse and only expose the backside of my turret. That guy had no chance. Again, 150mm HE rockets. Against AA like those ACM Mark IIs, no problem. One shot's going to kill them all the time. This tank is definitely very, very good against very lightly armored targets. Stuff like lightly armored tank destroyers, light tanks, AA, SPAA, stuff like that. Other rocket tanks. This thing is absolutely amazing. Then again, it comes into pairs. This is really a glass cannon. You don't get too many chances in this thing. As you can see, the reversal rate is rather slow. I'm only measuring about 5 km/h backwards, so I figure, meh, too far away. Let's turn this thing around. Now, being a half track, this thing does not turn on the spot like other tanks do. You have to kind of learn to drive this thing like a car. You have to watch out for the turning circle, try not to get stuck into corners, because that can kill you. If you don't manage to evade enemy fire in time, well, one shot is going to kill you. Yeah, as you can see, shot went straight through my tank, killed one of my teammates it seems, but did no other damage. That's the beauty of this tank being so lightly armored. Shells just tend to go straight through, not much spalling, no APHE effects, nothing. This thing can actually tank shots as long as the enemy does not know where to shoot you. Now we are kind of in a predicament here. The enemy is pushing very, very strongly onto the A flag, and of course I want to win this game. But there's another reason for me to want that A flag. Just a couple minutes ago I told you that you could only reload inside cap circles. Yes, not even your base. So, since there's only one cap circle in the game right now, and I can't go back to base to rearm, those 4 rockets are all that I have left. I can fire 4 more times, and then I am out and useless. So I have to get into the cap zone and try to defend it, firstly, and try to rearm as well. Now, one of these rocket tanks inside a cap circle is actually quite a force to be reckoned with. You can do some major damage, especially when you are defending. Again, this tank is not very good attacking by itself. That's not what this thing was made for. It's a support tank. And a defensive tank as well. If you can hold it up in a good position, only exposing the backside of your tank without exposing the cabin, where your commander and your driver are, you can actually very effectively just suppress the enemy from advancing, because there's the sound again. As long as I hear those rockets going off, they're going to think twice about rounding that corner and advancing towards your flag. And again, backing off towards the corner to not expose my hull. Ooh, but I hear some artillery going off, and artillery is the nemesis of this vehicle here. Since it has so little armor, it just gets wrecked by artillery. They don't even have to hit you. Normally artillery only kills a tank when they directly hit you, but In the case of this thing, they can go off 3 meters beside you and still kill you. The shrapnel just can absolutely cheese grate this thing. Now the flag looks a bit quiet right now. I could advance into the cap circle, but there are some guys on the left side. Which means I can't really go anywhere without getting shot at. Now, on top of being very good for defensive role, this thing is actually quite a good ambush tank as well. If you can get your guns on target before the enemy does, especially if you're hidden in a corner, hidden in an alleyway and the enemy drives in front of you, this thing can do some major damage. Again, comparing this to the KV-2, it's a glass cannon that can fire very quickly. Imagine a KV-2 with an autoloader. That's what this thing really is. Except for, well, of course, having no armor, being slow, getting shot at by everything, and only having 10 shots. And then, well, being mostly completely useless. But, as long as you have those 10 shots, one-on-one, you're going to win every single fight. As long as you get the first shot off, of course. But usually you only need about 1 shot or 2 to disable a tank. 1 shot can take out the cannon barrel, take out the tracks, take out major components of the enemy. And if 1 shot doesn't do it, then the second shot will kill whatever you're shooting at. Just the potential for barrage of this tank is amazing. It's what really makes this thing very, very fun to drive. I shot the Russian version. The Russians have a... just cutting out, but managed to get a rocket off before getting taken out. Now at this point I don't have any respawns left, and we did manage to lose that game. After 6 kills and a rocket tank, we managed to lose that game somehow. I don't know what it's been lately, but my team just haven't been good whatsoever. It might be me, but at the same time I'm getting kills, so I have no idea what's going on. I just tend to get up on the teams of the complete noobs. But to recap, the Panzerwerfer 42. It's very lightly armored, it's not very quick, it has amazing armament, but the rockets are kind of slow. You have to know how to aim them by intuition, because you don't get proper aiming reticles or markers. You have to pretty much go by gut feeling, and you only get 10 of them as well, which, as long as you have rockets in your tubes, you are a force to be reckoned with, but as soon as you expend that last rocket, you are useless. Completely useless. They've given this thing a machine gun to pretend to do something, but let's be honest here, the machine gun can only be used to mark enemy tanks for your friendlies, but, well, if you are in the line of sight to mark your enemies, they can also kill you or take out aircraft, but a single machine gun against aircraft is not going to do much damage whatsoever. So if you're thinking about buying this rocket tank, if you have the money, I would actually suggest it. It is really, really fun. It is very situational. You have to know how to play this thing. You can't take out in every map or in every situation, especially long-range maps like Kuban or stuff like that. Not this tank's territory. You want to keep it close range, preferably city maps, stuff like Stalingrad, stuff like Poland, Eastern Europe. That's where this tank shines. Other than that, it's very, very fun, especially when you one-shot enemies with those rockets, and the sound is absolutely amazing. For the sound alone, it's worth just taking out this tank. I have wet dreams about this tank. Ugh, that sound. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new around here, do not forget to subscribe and, of course, like this video. I will be back with you hopefully in a couple of days for a blueprints. Now, you guys who are following me on Twitter probably know what this blueprint is going to be about, but if you don't know, it's about a certain king tiger with a very, very long cannon. Anyways, my name has been MikeGoesBoom. Thanks for watching.